Welcome back to Dish It Out. As you can see here, we have the one, the only Chef Doug Fee, and he's surrounded by fish. So what is it you're going to be doing for us?
Well, we're going to go fishing today. Oh. So got some red snapper, which looks pretty good here.
Looks wonderful.
Some red snapper and papayette, which is a traditional dish that we do here with our credit courses. Yes. And so we're basically steaming it in parchment paper.
Okay.
And then we're going to do the opposite of steaming. We're going to do something fried, but we're going to do a modified fried catfish with a little corn flake crumb on it.
Oh, very nice.
So a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So got any threes?
I don't know what you're talking about. Any threes?
Go fish.
Go fish.
All right.
I like that.
That was weak.
Yeah, right. It's good humor for fish.
When we're looking at fish here, let's take a look at this guy. All right. We can see his eyes are clear. Well, he's pretty red. Late night.
Yeah, well.
So
he needs that Ben Stein, right?
We're looking for the flesh to be firm, so we poke it. It comes back out. No scales are coming off of this guy. Well, okay, well maybe one. All right, but the scales are staying where they belong.
He's been sitting for an hour or so.
Exactly. These lights get to him. All right, fins are not dried out. He's eviscerated, meaning all the icky parts are taken out of there. Which, if you buy a whole fish, that's one thing you want to make sure that's out of there, because there are some pretty nasty bacteria that's going to give it really an off flavor, even if you clean it right away after you get it home, but make sure it's already eviscerated before you get it home.
That's when you want to turn that smell-o-vision down.
Exactly. And then we can look at the gills if we want to get that graphic, but the gills should be kind of red, bright red like we have here. If you're looking gray or brown, that's not such a good thing.
It also depends on the type of fish too. Red snapper, you know, it's not as if somebody's catching it around here, so it has traveled a little bit.
So this guy's going to be a little darker anyway. So, and of course, it shouldn't smell like fish, which sounds counterintuitive. It should smell like the ocean. If it smells fishy, then something fishy is going on here. So I'm going to put this off to the side, and we're going to prepare our red snapper and papayette. We can also do this. We have this is our red snapper fillets we have here. All right. And we have some mahi-mahi, which is very nice looking product here. Very pretty, yes. So in either case, you can serve this with the skin on. You'd want to make sure you scale it first. But when I eat, I'm kind of lazy. I don't like to be fighting with the skin, especially in a dish like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this skin.
Okay.
And so to do that, I need to get my knife flat on the cutting board here. So to do that, I have to make sure I'm near the edge. And I'm just going to take my knife and go on down the fish like this, laying it flat. And take that skin off. So we're left with just the fillet.
Very nice. Look.
All right.
Regular pro. And you show how to do the larger fish with your bare hands in Food Preparation 1.
Well, exactly. We've done that with the salmon. With the salmon, you can use your bare hand like a knife and just take that skin right off. So here we're going to do the same thing with our mahi-mahi. And take off our skin. This guy's got a little curve to it, so he might not be as cooperative. There we go.
Beautiful piece of fish, though.
Yes, it is. So what we're going to do with this, this cooking form is actually steaming. This is in papayette. Now, with in doing this, we want to julienne our vegetables. Now, all these wonderful vegetables in here, we modified our recipe a little bit, which we tend to do. Mm-hmm. We have carrots, we have leeks, we have fennel, red pepper, celery, and then we just added some white onions and some red onions, just to add a little bit more color, a little more variety. You could add scallions in there. So any of the vegetables you like, you can put in there. They're going to all steam together, and that flavor is going to just combine. One thing you have to be careful of, though, your carrots. Right? Because these carrots, all these products are raw. Mm-hmm. So what's going to happen is if these carrots are cut too big, if you can't julienne a carrot, then you may have some problems because the carrot's is going to be the last thing to cook. So we can use a mandolin.
Would you like me to get you a mandolin?
I'd like you to get me a mandolin.
Very good.
So with a mandolin, we can just run the carrot right over it in shreds, no problem at all. So
there you go.
Now that's a mandolin. I'm kind of fraidy scared of this one.
This is the expensive one too.
And we do have the chainmail glove here, so I won't hurt myself and lose a finger. That could be a little exciting. May get some ratings. I'm not going there. What we do have is a more of the household type one, and this will slice into juliennes. So what I can do is, Frank, if you can hand me a carrot from over there.
Certainly.
Pretty high-tech stuff.
And this is probably about 1/10 the price, too.
Exactly. And a little safer with the guard. All right, and you can see just by taking one pass there, right, this gives us what we need with our carrots.
Perfect every time.
Okay. So if you're working at home, you're up against a time schedule, that's fine. If you come here, we like to use this for one of our practical exams. We like to see you do it by hand because then we can check your knife skills and make sure that you really do know what you're doing with a knife, which is important. Okay. If you could get me the big bowl, Frank.
Sure.
I'm going to prepare our parchment paper. And this is parchment paper, and I took the liberty of cutting them into heart shapes. Don't get any ideas, Frank. I like you, but.
Oh, it's not even Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Depending on when you're watching this. Am I blushing?
Anyway, we're going to paint this up with some clarified butter. Clarified butter, what is clarified butter? I forget.
Clarified butter is 80% butter fat, which has the milk solids and the water removed from it. And why are you using the clarified butter as opposed to the whole butter with the milk solids and the water in there?
Well, when we remove the milk solids and the water from it, we're left with that pure butter fat. And this butter fat is going to give us the flavor of the butter, but it can handle the high temperatures. We're going to put this in a 450-degree oven. And if we had whole butter, it would brown and discolor all these pretty colors that we have here. So that wouldn't work for me. So I'll take some carrots and some leeks, some fennel, and this is the bulb of the fennel. All right, and this is going to give us that almost like a licorice kind of flavor to it.
Now, could you put some fennel frond in there too if you wanted?
In fact, you could. And that makes a real nice garnish at the end. All right, some red pepper, some celery, red onion, and some white onion. And we're just going to toss this all together. Mind tossing that up?
Sure.
There we go.
Pretty colors too. Nice aroma.
That they are.
You definitely smell that fennel going on in there.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to stack these right in our parchment paper. So we're going to get two going here. All right, I'll start painting up the other piece of parchment. If you want to, and what we want to do is we want to put it not in the exact center. We want to put it in the center here because we're going to fold it all together. Okay. So if you put a handful of vegetables in there, and this particular recipe calls is enough for 6. If you were making this for your family and you want to put a couple pieces of fish in each one, so you don't have to do it all individually, that's fine. We like to do this here individually. It's a nice dish, and we've done it in our student-run restaurants here because they do it tableside. It gets tableside, and the server opens it up, and all those wonderful smells just go wafting out of there.
We actually did it with salmon last time, correct?
In fact, we did. Okay, if I can have another handful here.
Certainly.
Okay.
It's a generous handful.
There we go. All right. All right. So you know what they say, big hands, big gloves.
There you go.
Okay. Going to put our mahi on here, and we're going to add a little basil butter. Let me just step on over and get our basil butter in here. Carefully measured amount. On basil butter, we've done compound butters on our shows before. But basil is one of those things you get to the end of the season and you hear the frost is coming. All right, so you don't just have to make pesto with it, you can also make great butter with it. And
which is great because then you can roll it up and freeze it, which we've done in the past.
Exactly, and use it as you need it. So what we're going to do now is we have to fold this over. All right. And what we're going to do is we're just going to crease it. And I'm going to start, let's see if I can do it backwards here so the camera can pick it up. All right. I know you love all this rusting paper on the mics here, I'm sure. All right, we're going to start at the not so pointy end of the heart, and I'm just going to fold it over. And each fold is going to keep the previous fold in place. You got to press down pretty firmly. Try and make sure those seams stay as you want them to. And you can put in as many folds as you like. The more intricate the folds are, actually when it comes out of the oven, kind of looks a little nicer. All right.
Now you're making sure that there's plenty of space still in there for the fish and for the air to circulate steam, correct?
Because all the moisture in there in the vegetables and our fish is going to turn to steam, and the basil butter is going to baste our fish, keeping it nice and moist. And then when I get to the end here, I have the pointy end, that's why I wanted it at the end here. I'm just going to take that and fold it right underneath there, and we have one ready to go.
Okay, would you like a
Yes, indeed. If you would
pan?
go ahead and put that on a pan.
I will indeed.
And we'll take our second one and do the same thing. Sometimes some of the vegetables trying to find their way to the edges, so you just kind of push them back. Now, one of the challenges with this is trying to figure out when it's done. All right, so this takes about 10 to 12 minutes in the oven, depending on the thickness of your fish. So in this case, the mahi-mahi is going to take a bit longer than our red snapper.
Okay.
All right, and so the easiest way to do it is just kind of open one up. If it's not ready, fold it back up and leave it a little longer. So that's ready to go.
Okay.
That's dish number one.
Hi, it's Elmo.
And I'm Secretary Kathleen Sebelius.
Elmo and Secretary Sebelius are here to tell you how to stay healthy this flu season.
First, you learn to sneeze into the bend of your arm like this.
Oh, very good. Always wash your hands really well.
And remember to have a plan in case your child is too sick for school, so someone can stay home with them until they get better.
Stay healthy, America.
Take my hand and start a brand new day. And together as one we'll start to see some change.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Mom, I'm not gonna go to college.
What are you saying? You've got to go to college.
Well, they offered me a job and...
Son, college is much more important.
No.
Yes.
No, Mom.
Yes.
Anyways, it's my decision.
Okay, well then decide what degree you're going to get because you will go to college.
Their tomorrow depends on your words today. The Hispanic Scholarship Fund has the information you need to help your kids go to college.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice, 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 110. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
This log. Yeah. Whoa! I like the big black ones. I like the brown wiggly ones.
I like the green crunchy ones myself.
Whoa.
Get out and explore nature. There's surprises everywhere. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Anyone up for dessert?
Now they have the papillote going in the oven. I see here we have a little catfish, and looks like you have a standard breading with one different ingredient than breadcrumbs.
Unstandard ingredient, yes. Instead of breadcrumbs, we're using some cornflakes here. So it'll sweeten it up a little bit, and to balance that off a little bit, we have a little spicy ketchup for today. So, I mean, certainly you can go with a remoulade sauce, which is mayonnaise-based sauce. But for this, it's going to be a modified fried dish because I try and be good with my fats.
Couldn't you also use a sweetened cereal for someone like me then?
You know, you could. I've had it that way, but I got to tell you,
can't go too sweet.
No, yeah. So you just take I just take my cornflakes in the bag, all right, and just, I got a 9-year-old at home that loves to do that part, so she's a lot of help. So but we're done with that.
That's actually a great use for those remnants at the bottom of the bag that you're always looking, and just throwing out, right?
Exactly. So we got standard breading, which is flour, egg wash, and in this case, it is a little bit of cornflake mix that are mashed up. You can certainly cut this with some breadcrumbs if you wanted to. Our flour is seasoned, so we have a little salt and white pepper in there. And a lot of times with catfish, especially in your southern catfish recipes, they like to use buttermilk. Okay, who has buttermilk in their fridge right now? Yeah, exactly. So I actually went with eggs, but this is the egg starch. So it's the yellow egg whites, basically is what it is.
Okay.
So, but this works for me. So again, so I don't have to feel quite so guilty.
I thought you were going to go with, a lot of times, down south, pecans is something traditional with catfish. But it's certainly always fried.
That's true, quite often.
I love the South.
Now, in this, I've had one of my students from the South who told me about noodling. Do you know what noodling is?
Noodling? No, what's noodling?
So you go along the riverbank, and there's a hole in the side of the river, and you stick your hand in there where the catfish are and pull the catfish out. They actually wait for them to kind of bite your fingers and yank them on out. All right, so you can see how much, I'm doing frying. There's like almost no fat in there at all. So I have a Teflon pan.
Now, do you have to worry about that cornflake coating burning on you?
You do, actually.
Okay.
So you want to get it till it just starts to brown. I'm going to flip it over and do it just lightly on the other side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish it in the oven.
Okay.
So this way I'm getting that crispness. And if you have a standard oven, it'll work. But if you have a convection oven, you can even get away with even a lighter fry.
Okay. About time to flip that bad boy?
It is. It is. And you can see, since I use a Teflon pan, just a tiny bit of oil. It's not going anywhere, so we're just going to flip them right over. So we got that nice coloring that we want, which looks kind of nice. And we're going to let it go just slightly on here, because what's going to happen is now this is going to be in our pan, and the bottom of the pan is going to heat up, and it's going to color it a little more. So just barely here, and then we're going to pop it in the oven, maybe 6 minutes if it's in a hot oven, 350 degrees.
Now, traditionally, a lot of times when you're doing pan fry or deep fry, you would season as soon as you flipped it. Is that something you need to do, or you're not worried because of the seasoned flour?
I have the seasoned flour, and we have the flavor from the cornflakes, and then we're going to have that heat from our spicy ketchup. We're going to serve this with.
It's going to be good.
I hope so. So we can take it out now, and we can, even though there's not much to blot, because we only use very little fat in here, we'll see if we get any excess fat off of here.
What happened to the terminology fat is flavor?
Okay.
Oh, very minimal.
All right, see, almost nothing on there. So
see, if I were making that, you would see something on there.
Okay. So now we can take this, put it right in our pan, and in our pan, we're not going to need anything to keep it from sticking there either, because again, we just have a little bit of fat from the pan on the bottom of this fish. That's all we're going to need, and we're going to throw this in the oven, take it out in 6 minutes, done.
Sounds great. Can't wait for 6 minutes to happen.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles. Everybody bring it in. I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
Mom? I'm not gonna go to college.
What are you saying? You've got to go to college.
Well, they offered me a job and...
Son, college is much more important.
No.
Yes.
No, Mom.
Yes.
Anyways, it's my decision.
Okay, well then decide what degree you're going to get, because you will go to college.
Their tomorrow depends on your words today. The Hispanic Scholarship Fund has the information you need to help your kids go to college.
G-morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did? Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
Hey, Luis, did you know that you're Elmo's plan?
Your plan?
Yeah, Elmo's mommy said that if Elmo is too sick to go to school, the plan is that Elmo stays with Luis and Maria.
Oh, yes, we have that plan all in place.
Great!
You never know when your child will be too sick to go to school. So have a plan ready so your child can stay home and get healthy.
Luis is the man, because he's Elmo's plan. The man, because he's Elmo's plan.
To learn more about preventing flu, visit flu.gov.
All right, now we're ready to take some fish out of the oven and
I see plates.
See what we got.
Plates mean I get to eat, right?
That's just about it. We're almost there.
It's a beautiful thing.
So we set up our plates with our garnishes already. And
are these both for the Popiettes?
They are indeed.
Because you still got that catfish going on in there too.
Catfish is still cooking a little longer. And you can see how the parchment paper just puffs right up.
More importantly, you can smell that. Can you smell that out there? We make so many jokes to the smell-o-vision. I know you're getting angry out there. Relax.
What we're going to do is just carve this open. And you can see.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Okay. So what we need to do is going to slide this right over.
And this is the one that we, did table side, which a lot of times people will do, where the server will cut an X with a sharp knife and put it right out on the customer's plate.
Exactly. So you can see all the basil and herbs on there. And what we want to do is get all these julienne vegetables on there as well.
That looks great. Beautiful colors, wonderful aroma. Now the one drawback is this does have a tendency to cool down rather quickly.
Like any fish, that's true. But on the plus side, I mean, if you want to do this, the day before, you can bag these guys up and hold them in your fridge, and then 15 minutes before you need them, just pop them in your oven, and you're good to go.
That really is self-contained. It's got all the garnish and a sauce from that basil butter.
It is indeed.
That looks really nice.
Now look at fish
You
number
know,
two.
I know that for many years you've taught the concept and practiced the concept in your own kitchen as a chef of mise en place, yet I see something missing here that is very, very important to this dish.
Oh, you think that's an accident that I don't have a fork out? Is that what it's-
I thought that was purposeful. I was hoping it was an accident.
We don't eat in the kitchen here. We eat in the dining room.
That's true. There's somebody around here that often reminds me of that.
Can't imagine who that might be.
That is looking fantastic. You know what I'd like with that? Just looking at that, how beautiful that is, some Kalamata olives.
You can have all you want because they're not my thing. So,
oh, I'm sorry.
So you can see, about holding the heat, and certainly when you take them out of the bag, that's going to hold them self-contained, and then they're good to go.
Well, you're serving them right away. You see the steam.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Very nicely done.
So now we're ready for our catfish. I'm going to take that guy out of the oven here.
Oh, after looking at this, I almost forgot about the catfish. And that's a fried dish. This is actually much healthier.
Almost a fried dish. So you take a look at this. You can see we got it's nice and browned, and I don't know if you can be able to hear that, but it's got that crisp texture that we want without using very much oil at all. In that pan, I would imagine, I don't think I used more than a teaspoon of oil for this entire fish, and there's still oil remaining in the pan when I was done.
Well, that is the beauty of why a lot of people eat fish, is for the health purposes. So the fact that you're adding this flavor and texture too, by using the corn flakes and giving it a pan fry but finishing it in the oven, still allows it to be relatively, actually very healthy dish.
Okay, and now it's time for Frank's favorite part.
Eating.
So we'll see you in the dining room.
Check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those pants.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
What gets you moving?
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
You fuel your body,
and your mind,
whether you like to throw around the football,
play frisbee in the park,
or dance in your room.
moving every day helps give you a healthy body and mind.
And that makes you part of a winning team. Hey, that was my line. Get up and play an hour a day, Doc.
check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
That's www.letsmove.gov.
Explore new worlds. Read. Visit literacy.gov and let the journey begin.
Okay, Frank, so we finally made it. Your favorite part?
This is the part we eat. Chef Fee, I want to thank you very much. It was a pleasure joining you on the fishing excursion. And now I guess the only decision that remains is to decide where we're going to start.
Red snapper, catfish.
We're going to get to it all, so I'm going to start with the red snapper. I don't know about you.
And I'm going for the catfish.
Looks fantastic.
So thanks for joining us on this episode of Dish It Out. Look forward to seeing you next time.